the battleground for our map number 1, FaZe. We beat OpTic Gaming 8-3 in the qualifiers. They certainly led that and took the number 1 seed coming into this tournament. Let's not forget though, the title holders, the current kings of the throne, OpTic Gaming will look to defend here.
This is going to be a war all season long between these two teams, but this is the first battle. Question is, who's going to land the first blow? First kill is going to go in the favor of FaZe. Frosty trying to stay alive, but he's going to get sniffed out.
And what a test here. A little oddball streets to kick it off between these two teams. And as we talked about, OpTic Gaming is such a fantastic and skilled oddball team with their rotations. However, FaZe getting the better of them in oddball overall in the qualifier leading up to Charlotte. No points on the board as teams look for early slaying control.
And there's going to be a lot of respect shown between the two teams as well. Royal 2 with the rockets in his hands means that FaZe are going to get some early ball time here on streets as well. Picks up 1, does damage, and look at this flank as well from Royal 2. Lucid has no idea he's there, finally spins around! And luckily he had a Stalker and a lot of individual skill to go alongside it.
Wow, fantastic shots there out of Lucid. That's what you expect to see. Gets 2 on Renegade, but Renegade knows he needs to get that kill and finish it quickly against a player like Lucid. However, FaZe do find themselves 2 dead as the ball gets rotated up to Neons.
Renegade though, he finds a Bulldog and a Stalker rifle, so he is going to be a menace as he prowls around streets now, trying to find some more players from OpTic Gaming. The problem is, 2 of his teammates have fallen. So Frosty and Renegade, the last 2 alive here, as OpTic do a pretty good job of holding, and more importantly, they've got that oddball and they're trying to force this one back into Tram, but Renegade's read this like a book. He gets 1, but Lucid's there to trade it out.
APG, the rotate master, he gets it all the way into Tram, but it was 3 dead. Trippy was your last player alive for OpTic Gaming. He gets 1, which is gonna buy his team a little bit of time, but it will be Tram control here in a moment. Not so fast. Trippy staying alive, paves the way for Formal to come in and continue to do the damage. Lucid is your last player alive. He's forced into the L now. Finally, this should be control for FaZe.
Yeah, really important that FaZe won that battle as well. You can see OpTic managed to get up the stairs inside of Tram as quickly as possible due to the fact that the spawns were a little bit staggered between the two teams. But as I say, FaZe win that battle. Formal wins one of his own. And now Frosty on a killing spree, and more importantly, FaZe with that ball back in their hands, they cross the 30-point mark.
Really an unbelievable amount of talent on this main stage. When you think of the plays that the players are making, you have to think one mistake, one gap is all your opponent is going to need to run the score up. Now FaZe is already up 42-10.
Second set of rockets for them as well. Formal's going to try and take this oddball player down, and he's going to be able to do so. He has no idea that Frosty's there with 1 more rocket though. 3 dead once again for OpTic Gaming, and more ball time here for FaZe Clan. So far, you have to say it's been all FaZe.
All FaZe, and they're also outslaying by over 25% here, 21-16 on the kills. 50-14, a lot of points on the board as well. They've been slaying and they've been objective efficient.
They have. FaZe trying to fly in though, Renegade gets taken down. Lucid staying alive there thanks to the help of Trippy was so important as well, because the rest of OpTic can get across the map, support them in staying alive as FaZe gets stuck on the respawn. First time we're going to see OpTic now with the Tram hold, Trippy with the Stalker rifle. Not going to have to do too much damage onto Royal 2 because APG is already there taking him down.
We're getting shot as well from the Neons. The angles coming in. Might be a play ball here, but credit to OpTic Gaming, even though they're being outslayed, as we said, by a few kills. Trippy finds it in the end, got a little bit of help. Even though they're being outslayed by several kills, it's still 50-32. OpTic Gaming has kept this close despite pretty consistent FaZe control.
Yeah, pretty consistent FaZe control, but as I say, there's a few battles there that maybe should have gone the way of OpTic that didn't. Trippy missed a few shots with that Stalker rifle. Maybe that's just the presence of Renegade. When you see that name over the spawn, you play a little bit different, but Trippy looking to make that 1-1 in the individual battles. Renegade smartly backs down here. More importantly to stay alive, but almost as important, keeping this Stalker rifle in his hands.
Absolutely. Can he finish this one in the end on Lucid? My goodness, a little bit of a mess between the two. Oh, a little bit of an extra tap from Renegade as well. That's a game 1 melee to the body.
Always a little bit risky to do it that early. APG last alive for OpTic Gaming. FaZe with more ball time as well, as Renegade continues to pick up kills. Looking at the stats on the screen at the moment, Frosty leading the way for FaZe Clan. 11-5 for him, but just behind him you can see Renegade on your screen, 7-4.
That was a big run from FaZe. Look at this, it's already 80-32. That's a 30, now 32-point run, uncontested for FaZe, and they're also now outslaying by 7 as well. Home stretch for FaZe.
APG gets 3, killing spree here for Renegade. Lucid going to be challenging. Lucid kind of left on an island at the moment at the top of Subway. Ball is down on the balcony as well, so he can't run and pick that up. FaZe know that. They're trying to use that as bait, trying to watch the rest of OpTic flooding, trying to support Lucid and staying alive, and they've just got the crosses down here.
OpTic really should play this ball if they can. They need to get the ball off a balcony, otherwise it's going to be trouble. Already 2 dead for OpTic.
2 dead for OpTic, and it might be more because Renegade finds a rocket on the floor. Lucid's going to find out for himself that that was left, and now Renegade once again busts into Tram, takes down 2, and he might be able to deal with Trippy as well.
Trippy needs to play this, as we said. He will toss the ball down. That will buy them time, but finally in the nick of time, I can't believe Trippy was able to get up to Balk even after it was a 4 dead. 2 dead, might be 3 soon. Look at the shots from Frosty, but APG answers. Only 10 points to go for FaZe.
Make that 9 is closing, and with OpTic having 3 players in the respawn screen, this has been a phenomenal round from FaZe Clan. The roster built to take down OpTic takes the first round here on Streets.
Really convincing round from FaZe overall in the end. Keep in mind, that game was only separated by 2 slays at one point. It was about 22-20 in the slaying department. It ends 43-31. FaZe outslaying OpTic by more than 10 kills and a really nice home stretch to close out the round.
And a big contributing factor to that, the Stalker Rifle, again, Renegade had it for so long and valuing it. That's the most important thing. Yes, it's a great weapon if you get into engagements, but it's just so important to keep it out of the hands of your opponents because of the power it possesses.
So important and so Frosty in this game. 16-8, the man is double positive in our first round of play. Quite a way to start your main stage championship Sunday run.
Once again, 3 dead here for OpTic. Royal 2 gets the trade with the Rockets, that's 4 dead for them. 2 players off of the spawn, and Snakebite's going to find himself the spare rocket on the floor as well, so you would imagine that he should be able to do enough damage to create an opening to grab that off ball and force it back to Tram, but OpTic holding the angles well enough to stop that from happening.
Love that from Snakebite. Wastes no time. Grabs the rockets right away and fires it at that planter on back streets. You wouldn't always expect that if you're spawning back A. Picks up that kill. We'll have plenty of time to talk about Snakebite through the rest of the day, because my God, has he ever had a weekend.
I mean, first 2 days, Snakebite was almost perfect in a lot of ways. Objectively, slays, whatever you needed from him, he produced. And in this game, it's been all about holding that oddball for him. You can see he's at 6 and 10 at the moment, but with the most objective time on his team, letting the rest of the powerhouse slayers on his team do the work for him.
Gotta point out, look at this, 0 time on the board. This tells you just how much these 2 teams prioritize slaying control and map control before they go for the ball grabs. And right away, Formula is punished. APG is punished for the early grabs without control, and Renegade is absolutely frying with the Sentinel Beam.
I mean, how quickly did Renegade just get across the map, by the way? Just hitting the G-slides, making sure that he's challenging those 2 players who are weak. And all of a sudden, OpTic being in control, when you look at the numbers on the map, he evens it up in a second, and now he's on a killing spree. Renegade, again, just showing no fear. He is happy to engage with multiple players if he knows that the damage is there and he can clean it up.
We were talking about Frosty's numbers, which are still wildly incredible, but now Renegade, as you say, killing spree of his own. Now he's 18-8, showing up on the board in a big way, not just today, but all weekend long. FaZe off to an early lead, 16-3.
A little bit of a slow start here for Trippy, 6 and 15 for him. Not a lot of objective time alongside it as well. APG going to go into the death screen once more. He's 8 and 16. So the slaying battle seems to be kind of being won even more in this round by FaZe Clan. It's not reflecting in the score too much, but Trippy's going to maybe find a little bit of confidence here with these rockets.
Tough situation here. Renegade coming up the street, not an easy rocket angle, and Trippy needs the help. It doesn't come in time though, so in the end that will be another one down for OpTic, a man advantage for FaZe on this push. However, APG and company, they answer back. Great use of the drop wall. They'll find 3 dead for FaZe and an opportunity for control here, and likely at least a 10-point swing for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, OpTic looking much better now. They've got that ball in their hands. That push was so important to hold off, but Frosty's got that Stalker Rifle again. The problem with holding the ball over here is that you give that Stalker Rifle, if it's on respawn, of course, on that red weapon pad, back to your opponent to break with. From that, you can see OpTic already lost 2 players, and you would imagine a lot of that damage has been done by the Stalker Rifle on the commander that spawned inside a Tram.
3 dead there. APG's the last player alive in the L. He knows he needs to play this low. Take a look at this, just waiting to get a little bit of help. Very selective with his angles. Now gets caught out though. He actually gets tagged up by nades in the back and shots in the back as well. That's unfortunate. That's going to slow them down, and they're still 2 dead.
And I mentioned how Snakebite's been doing a lot of objective work. Well, in this round, he's been doing a lot of killing of OpTic Gaming members. He's now even on KD, 13 and 13. Take yourself back just a few minutes, and he was almost, I think it was 6 and 12 at one point, something like that. And now he's starting to step up in the slaying category, but OpTic's starting to step up as well, because FaZe Clan find themselves 4 dead, and OpTic have ball time and should, at the end of this hole, go into a lead.
Look at the great patience from APG. Stays alive, he waits for his teammates to spawn, they find themselves 4 dead. Let's get into a listen-in with OpTic Gaming.
Rockets are down. Can't. I can't kill him.
Last guy's tires. Tires to rockets. Right away.
Gonna have him. Yeah, one's also bottom nest too, Snake Bite.
He's going Jet.
Tires one.
Snake Bite's bottom nest right now.
Also, Veil.
Thrust is up right now. Thrust is up.
Dust.
They still do not have ball. We're good right
One's
now.
on flowers, one's on flowers, and one's front PD, okay?
Yeah, they're playing market. Playing arcade heavy.
Bulldog also.
Cuts here.
Bulldog on
Red's got purple. Everybody else can play market, baby.
Bulldog on
Yeah,
Bulldog.
Okay, never mind. Ball reset. Ball reset.
Green jet,
Still
green
need
jet,
to get
green
kills.
jet.
We need to kills here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys push out market. I'll
We got flowers. I think arcade.
Both of them.
They're just holding us right now.
Flowers, absolute. One shot flowers.
Two Bulldog. One is rocket. Each shot. One
Shot on the
rocket.
back. Yeah, there's a guy behind us. He's cuts.
Yeah, top Ivy. They're pushing Ivy.
Yeah, they're gonna try and get this into probably.
Two on bottom row now.
Real weak.
One shot absolute ball guy, or ATM one shot.
They just got weapons. We gotta get weapons out of their hands.
Yo, Renegade is pushing up flowers, guys. He's literally trying to fly. He's
Yeah, I think one
heaven.
rocket left.
Tires one.
Cafe.
Captures on me. He's cafe one shot. He's going ATM.
ATM Snake Bite right now. One shot ATM Snake Bite.
And cuts.
I can look
Probably
at this.
benches, probably
He's still
benches
benches.
somewhere.
Cuts, I believe. I need
On me, I got one.
Alright, that's our pick. Tommy's spawning in too. We gotta live.
all three here.
Small market. They're behind you guys. They're definitely flanking. Shoddy, soccer, ATM, weak.
Nice, we got one. Two dead.
Pushing behind ball.
Trying
We're
to
gonna
push
play for Matt.
Mirror team, Tommy.
All guys have. All guys won.
I got kills from rail. Weapons are down.
Once we jump out the listening back into the comms, it's going to be 56-30 in the favor of FaZe. OpTic trying to do what they can to wrestle back into this game, but just individual battles being lost. And Renegade at the moment is 24-13.
Absolutely.
The new addition, he's wrecking them.
Crazy numbers here from Renegade. 2 dead for each side at the moment, but when we got into that OpTic Gaming listing and 3 dead for them, by the way, yet again, they had a little bit of control, but my oh my, was it ever short-lived. FaZe answering back. Now they have double the score of their opponent.
Renegade trying to keep Royal 2 alive and does a great job of watching that cross, doing the damage so Royal 2 can survive and output even more damage. The most assists across the weekend so far go to Royal 2. That award was given to him. And you can see if he's staying alive, he's going to continue to output damage. FaZe find themselves 4 dead though, and OpTic with Trippy alive can finally get some ball time and also maybe that rocket launcher as well.
Trippy now gonna hold. Nose back A is clear. They should know all the tramp spawns are coming in. Snake bites out early and maybe getting caught out is gonna lead to continued control for OpTic Gaming.
He's trying to just lane at the moment so they can get these rockets, but FaZe are aware of it as well. Royal 2 going to take a different angle. Trippy's going to challenge him and push him back. Might be able to get that grab now and just about Scarper away, and OpTic will survive with the rockets. They also have the oddball, but you can see the pressure is almost telling on Trippy here. He gets one, but elsewhere on the map, look at this. Frosty's on the flank. He picks up a kill, and OpTic from that position are 3 dead once again.
Frosty sneaks through on A gen there with the disruptor. It's quite a route. He goes up bottom middle. Sometimes teams do not expect you to go straight up bottom middle, and he gets away with it. Looks like APG may be looking for a little bit of a play ball there. He's unable to do so as well. Here comes FaZe on the push. That's the timer. That will be it.
Game's done. FaZe taking OpTic apart there.